Your phone lights the ceiling and someone you like just got the thing you wanted. You read it twice. Then something drops under your ribs, half a second before your better self catches up. You want good things for them and the drop came anyway. Then the shame of having felt it lands on top. Spinoza names that half second and files it harsher than you would. But it measured something real, and the error hides in a line you drew. So here's what you'll get from the next 10 minutes. A name for the drop, a mechanism instead of a scolding, and a read on where you've quietly staked your own worth. I'll say up front that I'm not writing this from above it. I felt it last month, about a friend whose book sold, and I typed the congratulations with my thumbs moving faster than the rest of me. Nobody admits to this one. Anger will cop to, and grief will cop to in public, and most of us will happily confess to being petty about parking. This particular feeling we bury because it seems to report something about our character that we can't take back once it's out loud. Spinoza puts envy under hatred, and he doesn't soften it. In the definitions of the effects, he calls it a kind of hatred, the kind that saddens a person at another's good fortune and pleases them at another's misfortune. Hold that against your half second. You weren't merely disappointed for yourself. Some part of you regretted that they won. He gives the feeling the ugliest available name and then moves straight on, the way you'd label a specimen. Now notice what kind of book that sentence sits in. The ethics contains no villains. Spinoza argues that nothing could have happened otherwise, that people follow from nature the way shapes follow from geometry, and that hating someone for their character makes as much sense as hating the rain. So the harshness carries no accusation. He isn't condemning you. He's classifying you, the way a naturalist classifies a beetle, and the drawer he slides you into happens to have an ugly name on it, which raises the question this whole thing turns on. What did he think was actually happening in that half second? Start with the one thing he thinks every existing thing does. Each thing strives to keep going as itself. He calls that striving conatus, and in us, it doesn't stay abstract, because we feel it directly. A rise in your power to act arrives as joy. A drop arrives as sadness. He means that literally, not as a figure of speech. Then comes the problem. Your mind holds no absolute readout of its own power. Nothing on your wrist displays the number, so it takes the reading the only way it can, against the nearest comparable instrument it can find, which happens to be another person, and he adds a second piece. We imitate the feelings of anyone we take to resemble us, automatically, before we've agreed to anything. Watch a stranger stumble on the pavement ahead of you, and your own hand tightens before you've decided anything. Put those two pieces together, and something uncomfortable falls out. Their rise doesn't merely fail to lift you, it lands on your instrument as your own fall. Now, carefully. Many readers take Spinoza to be saying exactly this, and he never writes the sentence. The comparative picture gets built out of his account of how the mind imagines its own power, plus that business about catching the feelings of people like us. Take it as a reading of him, not a quotation from him. But if the reading holds, your half-second stops being a flaw in your character. It's an instrument doing the exact job it was built to do. The mistake hides one step earlier, in what you pictured the good as being. Spinoza writes that when we imagine somebody enjoying a thing only one person can possess, we work to make sure they don't have it. Notice the verb, imagine. The exclusivity lives in the picture first. Think about a lamp lighting another lamp where nothing drains and nobody loses. The room simply gets brighter, and neither flame surrenders anything it had. Understanding works that way. So does skill. So does the ability to see a thing clearly. So does the affection of the people who love you. None of it comes out of a fixed tank where filling one end empties the other. Your instrument scores them as though it did. It got calibrated on bread and land and heat, where one person's share genuinely subtracts from another's, and nobody ever retuned it. Then the deeper version of the error. Envy needs a border. It only fires across a line with you on one side and them on the other, and you have to believe in that line for the feeling to work at all. Nobody envies their own left hand. So the drop under your ribs never measured their success. It measured the distance you've drawn between their life and yours. Here's where I'd be lying to you if I kept going. Sometimes the good really does run out. There was one job, and they got it. One apartment, and the offer landed an hour before yours. One person who chose somebody else, and no amount of talk about lamps changes the fact that there was exactly one of them and they walked the other way. The lamp breaks there. So here's the question everything after this depends on. What does his argument do with the case where the thing was only ever going to go to one of you? Hold on to that, because I'm not going to answer it yet. I want to be honest about how much weight it carries. In those cases, the good genuinely was a fixed quantity, and calling your feeling a measurement error would be a trick, the kind of move that makes philosophy sound like something invented to stop people complaining. Spinoza knows about scarcity. He grew up in a merchant family. He watched his own inheritance get fought over in a courtroom, and he doesn't wave any of it off. So the answer, when it comes, has to survive the hard case, not dodge it. A Stoic would have handled that phone in about 4 seconds. Epictetus opens the handbook by sorting the world into 2 piles. Some things answer to you. Most don't. Put your good in the first pile and nobody can rob you. Their promotion was never in your pile. Neither was the book deal or the apartment or the person who chose somebody else. Feel the sting, name it as none of your business, and move. Give that its full due, because it works, and it works inside the 4 seconds when you need it, which is a real advantage. Call it a tourniquet, and mean that as praise. A tourniquet saves the limb. Spinoza doesn't contradict a word of it. He just asks the question it steps over. Why did the judgment form in the first place before you got a vote? Here's the spine of everything on this channel. Stoicism tells you to accept what you can't control. Spinoza tells you why. And the why earns its keep, because a feeling you've genuinely understood stops steering, while a feeling you've merely overruled waits until midnight and comes back with the phone. He puts it precisely. A passion stops being a passion the moment you form a clear idea of it. Not deleted, converted. You'll still feel the half second, exactly as sharply as before. It just won't be the thing holding the wheel. So, the job only one of you could have. Spinoza grants it completely, and then points at what follows. He argues that the highest good can be held by everybody at once, and that it grows rather than shrinks when other people reach it. Which means the goods people actually fight over are precisely the ones that can't be shared. And the ones that can't be shared are precisely the ones that can't make you free. Because holding them depends on somebody else not holding them. Your grip on that job required their failure to get it. You tied your standing to an outcome that lives inside another person's life, which means you've handed the keys to somebody who doesn't know they're holding them. And every one of those goods works the same way. The apartment, the promotion, the seat at the table, the person who chose somebody else. Each one buys you a position that only stays yours while other people go without. So the envy wasn't lying to you. When the good really does run out, the drop reports something accurate. You have staked part of your worth on a thing you can only keep by keeping other people away from it. That turns the feeling into information instead of a verdict. It stops working as evidence about your character. It starts working as a map of your own inventory, and it lights up every item you're holding with a closed hand. No rule follows from this. Just a thing worth knowing about yourself, delivered by a feeling you'd rather not have had. Go back to the ceiling and the phone. Same room, same message, different reading. You only feel that drop about things you actually want, which makes it a compliment paid to the wrong recipient. And it only crosses a border you believe in. So when your thumbs start moving faster than the rest of you again, you don't have to argue with the feeling or apologize for it, or dress it up as motivation and call it fuel. That last one keeps the whole machine running, by the way. It just points the comparison somewhere flattering. Ask the feeling what it measured instead. Ask why you put your worth there. Of all the places available to put it, the half second will still come. That part doesn't go away, and Spinoza never promised it would. What changes is what rides in alongside it, not a charge against your character. A reading, taken by an instrument you were born with, off a line you drew yourself,